Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So it's been a few days since we've updated you on the hallway situation, and you might notice straight away behind me that we've got some reinforced stud work going on for the slope of the staircase. So I'm going to tell you what I ended up doing and the benefits and cons, really. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is it looks a little bit higo-de-picote, but it's actually really strong. So these 3x3s, these joists, came off of the ceiling of the end summer house room that we demolished. So I thought, right, well, if I can sit them on top of the battens that are wall plugged into the concrete render, then they'll sit above final plasterboard fixing level. So my first point of call was to get these two kind of wedged in a really nice tight fit, and then two 6-inch screws on either side like that. So that left me with just over an inch gap to make it flush with the underside of the sides. So then my point was, right, well, I can't use my existing battens that I had left because these were just over 1 inch and it would have protruded a bit too far and the plasterboard wouldn't have gone flush. So I found some noggins, found some planks that were universal in depth, and it brought it up all the way to the top. And then I used just a small square batten up there to get a fixing for the top up there. So the next stage of attack, I need to figure out a bit more of a panel for this centre area. So my plan is to get 4 more nogs and screw them to that side of the 3x3. And then that will give me a little bit of a thing here and there, and then obviously at the top corners as well. And I'm thinking maybe a bit of hardboard, because we haven't measured the exact centre of where the chandelier is going to be fixed to. But if I just get a temporary board fitted, I can then do my measurement, make a pencil marking, get my spade bit on my drill and feed the wire through. And if I can just do a little hole, it means it's got all this play then, wherever the fixing mounting bracket ends up for the chandelier, it's going through plasterboard and then into a bit of OSB or something like that. So it'll be super strong. And then that'll be held up by the screws into the 3x3s. So that's the plan. Like I say, I'm really happy with it. I even hung off of one of the 3x3s before finishing the rest of it the other day on my birthday. And that was the bit of DIY that I ended up doing, but it's all a bit of fun. So let's crack on, and hopefully we might even get some plasterboard up there today, or at least in this video. So stay tuned and let us know what you think. Okay, so my little bracing backboard has been done. I put 2 extra sideways nogs. I couldn't find my OSB, so I actually used some of the old floorboards because they were the same depth to the nogs underneath, so that's all going to be flush. I left a little gap for the wire because, like I said, I don't really know where the centre is just yet. But that's my next stage. Do my triangulation, find the centre and get my spade bit sorted out, or at least maybe just a little bit of that groove through there. So things are looking up. It's currently 26.5 degrees, and I've spent the last half an hour sweating up and down that ladder, and I ain't even got started for the day yet. So stay tuned, let's see how far we get with plasterboarding. Baby, I think this light's going to be exactly in the centre by absolute fluke, look, I swear. I'm not even joking.
Why by fluke?
Because I just balance it there between boards, isn't it?
With the wire?
Yeah, the wire, yeah. Oh, that's so sick. And I didn't even measure the weight for those floorboards either, I just banged them up. And where the gap is, that I just guessed, is exactly where. I'm literally like 4 mil off. Okay, so things are going really well. I found some hardboard to cover that hole up there. And we're going to try and replace this polystyrene board for something similar of that, just so it's not as chewable if anything does decide to move in. So I'm going to pull that down, and this is like my demo piece of wire. I tried using cardboard and things like that, but it didn't work out. The weight of it's going to be too much of a sag. So I've brought in basically loads of steel wire, and I think it's like 3 mil thick, so I can't cut it with my wire cutters. I need to use the bolt cutters instead. So I'm just going to do it like maybe a centimetre longer than what it needs to be, and try and get 2 metal lines across each void, and that should be strong enough to at least hold up the rock wool. So Nisha's on the hunt for a new panel for there, and I'm going to cut some lengths of this wire. So all the insulation's up. I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you what the next stage is. Okay, so the little wire bits of bracing helped. Like, I don't really care what it looks like as long as it holds up the insulation. Got some deep bits over the middle board section as well. So now I've took my first measurements for my first size, and I'm on to cutting the plasterboard. So my first piece is going to be up to the centre line, that full whack there, which will leave me a few offcuts off of this 3/4 size board I've got left to do any little bits at the top. I'll go get the full sheet from outside the old tool room, and that should do the top half as well. And then because I know where the wire is, I'll be able to just do a little semicircle off of this first piece, and then same on the second piece, and the wire shouldn't have to be disconnected to make it all complete. So I'll keep you updated in a minute. Okay, so we've got the rest of the plasterboard up. I spent half an hour meshing the joins because it was quite difficult lining it up with all the uneven edges and the parallelness. Pretty happy with it, to be honest. 3 sheets. This one got split in half because you might have seen on the time lapse earlier in the video, getting this one up in one go was quite hard as well. So we cut that one in half and did it 2 pieces instead. So what I've done now, I've turned power off, And I've brought my centre line through the plasterboard with my spade bit of my drill. So I took the existing light off and I can put it back on after I've fed the wires through the chandelier mounting bracket. So I'm going to make sure this little sphere which screws the cap for the lights is in the bang on centre mark, and then get some big screws straight into the wooden boards behind, and then I can put the whole way light back on and maybe even do a test chandelier hanging kind of procedure. So I'm pretty excited. Obviously we've always visioned it getting to this point, but don't want to rush and make mistakes now. So I'm going to crack on with this and probably catch up with you when we get the chandelier up, hanging up. Okay, so we got the chandelier up just to suss it out and see which ones need shortening, and we've decided to basically shorten them by half, 50%, all of them. So the longest one will be at the back, closest to the lintel, and it's going to look really, really good. Obviously they need dusting off, need connecting, they're just in situ at the minute. But before we connect it all back and put the power back on, the next stage of the ceiling is to get some plaster adhesive, do all the seams all over the tape, and give it a light sand like we did in the previous video. So yeah, let's crack on with that. Half of it's been daubed on the seams, going really, really well, and I actually wet sanded it a little bit earlier than what I did on this top half of the ceiling, and it's worked a lot better. So done my next mix ready, and let's crack on. So that's the top half all rubbed down and sealed for the seams of the boards. So now we're on to painting. Okay, so it's got one coat of paint on, and now we're going to give it a few hours, wait for it to dry, and hopefully connect the chandelier later on. Last night we figured out how to shorten all the cables, so we're pretty happy with the final result, and we just need to polish it off and get it connected, so stay tuned. Once you, right, I'll say it again, and then when I turn it on, once it's focused on a line, then say yeah again. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm recording already.
The moment you've all been waiting for. So if you've watched all the previous videos of the hallway transformation, you know it's kind of been like a 2-week kind of project. And if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe. We really do appreciate it, and it goes a long way. And let us know what you think about the transformation in the comment section below. But for now, see you in the next video, and lekker nost!